This video is based on the fact how we became republic. The word republic is derived from the Latin phrase res publica, meaning public affair, which is the root of the word republic. Earliest form of democratic government was seen in the Roman Republic, however, which cannot be equated with the modern sense of the term. Plato's work, The Republic, is a pioneer work on philosophy, political theory concerning justice, the order and character of the just city-state, and the just man. India too is a very vague sense witnessed some form of democratic rule during the post-Vedic period with several Mahajanapadas following republican form of government such as Kamboj, Kuru and Mallaj etc. Now I am talking about the timeline of our republic. The transition of India from the British colony to a sovereign, secular and democratic nation was a historical journey. It started with the conceptualization of the dream in 1930 to its actual realization in 1950. The seeds of a republic nation were sowed at the Lahore session of the Indian National Congress at midnight of 31st December 1929. The session was headed by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, where it was decided that January 26, 1930 would be observed as the Purna Swaraj, complete Independence Day. Lahore session also paved way for the civil disobedience movement in the nation. After much deliberation between the Indian leaders and members of the British Cabinet Mission, Constituent Assembly was constituted, which met for the first time on December 9, 1946. Now, I am discussing about Cabinet Mission. Cabinet Mission came to India to discuss the transfer of power from British government to the Indian leadership. The mission comprised of 3 cabinet members of English government: Sir Patrick Lawrence, Sir Stafford Cripps, Admiral Alexander. Objectives of the mission: devise a machinery to draw up the Constitution of Independent India, make arrangements for interim government. Mission's recommendation: it proposed that Union of India will deal with the defense, foreign affairs and communications, recommended an undivided India and turned down the Muslim League's demand for a separate nation. It also provided for formation of Constituent Assembly on democratic principle of population. It recognized Indian right to cede from the Commonwealth. The objective of the Assembly was to give India a long-lasting constitution which would give institutional expression to the fundamental commitments of equality, democracy, sovereignty, and a cosmopolitan identity to its citizen. Now, importance of the Republic Day. What is the importance of the Republic Day? Although India became a free nation on August 15, 1947, it enjoyed the true spirit of independence on January 26, 1950, when the Constitution of India finally came into force, giving India its political freedom. On this day, India shed the last relic of colonial system and effected a new dawn by becoming a sovereign democratic republic. What is the meaning of sovereign, democratic and republic? Sovereign. The word sovereign implies that India is neither a dependency nor dominion of any other nation, but an independent state. There is no authority above it, and it is free to conduct its own affairs. Democratic means it is based on the doctrines of popular sovereignty. It is possession of supreme power by the people. Republic. Preambles indicates that India has an elected head called the President. He is elected indirectly for a fixed period of 5 years. The day is an occasion to commemorate the value of our democracy and republic. to reaffirm our commitment to liberty, fraternity, and equality across our society and among all our citizens. The day celebrates the desire of a huge nation that wanted to be governed through one single constitution, giving another example of India's unity in diversity. Few provisions of the Constitution came into power before 26 January 1950, that is on 26 November 1949. Provisions related to citizenship, elections, provisional parliament, temporary and transitional provisions, and the short title contained in Article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 324, 366, 367, 379, 380, 388, 399, 392 and 393 came into force on November 26, 1949 itself. Now I am discussing about the threats of our Indian democracy. Although India has made a place for itself as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, it loses behind a lot in the name of growth. Poverty remains the biggest challenge of present-day India. Majority of Indian people continues to live below the poverty line with huge divide between the rich and poor. Gender discrimination remains at all levels with skewed female ratio, few economic opportunities, disparities in wages, violence, malnutrition, etc. Corruption in public life has been a major concern in India. India is ranked 78th among 180 nations in corruption in recently Perception Index released by Transparency International. It exists as both covert and overt at all three levels: political, bureaucratic, and corporate sector. Corruption, communalism, and religious fundamentalism have acquired a very dangerous form and alarming proportion in India. It is an affront to India's nationalist identity and a tragic setback to its evolving secular culture. Indian democracy also struggles with regionalism, which is primarily an outcome of regional disparities and imbalances in development. Continued feeling of inequality both among and within state creates a feeling of neglect, deprivation, and discrimination. Elections, which serve as the most evident expression of democracy, are affected by money and muscle abuse by politicians and political parties. Most of the politicians have pending criminal cases against them. Source of funding for election remains questionable. Way forward. What to way forward for Republic of India? Our republic has come a long way. We must appreciate how far successive generations have brought us. Equally, we must appreciate that our voyage is far from complete. There is a need to recalibrate our yardstick of achievement and success from quantity to equality, from a literate society to a knowledgeable society in order. No conception of India's development can be complete without a salute to our spirit of inclusiveness. India's pluralism is the greatest strength and its greatest example to the world. The Indian model rests on the tripod of diversity, democracy, and development, where we cannot choose one above the other. The nation needs to encompass all segments of all communities so that the nation transforms into a family that invokes, encourages, and celebrates the uniqueness and potential in each person. ये जो मैंने आज वीडियो बनाया है, ये पूरी तरह से रिपब्लिक ऑफ इंडिया पर बेस्ड है. रिपब्लिक ऑफ इंडिया कैसे बना, इसकी एक छोटी सी झलक इसमें इस वीडियो के द्वारा मैंने देने का प्रयास किया। आशा है कि आप इसे देखेंगे और इस पर कमेंट करके बताएंगे कि इसमें क्या कमियां रह गई हैं और मैं उसके आधार पर पुनः इसमें सुधार करके इस प्रकार का दूसरा वीडियो लेकर आऊँगा। चूँकि ये वीडियो इंग्लिश में है इसलिए कुछ लोगों को कठिनाई होगी, लेकिन ये अत्यंत सरल है। मैं प्रयास करूँगा कि आगे इस प्रकार का वीडियो हिंदी में भी आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करूँ। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार। I have earlier told in my video that India is ranked 78th among 180 nations in Corruption Perception Index released by Transparency International. But it was the rank of India in 2018. But now India ranks 93 out of 180 countries in Corruption Perception Index conducted in 2023. I have also discussed about the article of the Constitution as 399 in provisions related to citizenship, elections, provisional, parliament, temporary and transitional provisions. That is not 399, that is 391. Article 391 is true for the same. Thanks.